What's up guys, Houndish here, and today it's time for the weekly reset in Destiny 2, and of course it's Tuesday, May 28th, so this is the very final reset for the game before the launch of the final shape. And just today we got a new final shape trailer, which was pretty juicy, that's the launch trailer, but additionally we get the reset in the game, some final quests for Season of the Wish and Into the Light, as well as a few heads up for the end of the season. So we'll talk about that, but of course we have the Eververse refresh, hopefully that will be a juicy one, and in the video we'll cover all of the vendors like Banshee and Ada 1, as well as key rewards and unlocks for the week, farmable exotics, featured lost sectors, and plenty more in the video. So, as always guys, I hope this one is useful, and if you enjoy it, get subscribed for more D2 content, but without further delay, let's get into it. And first up this week, of course, initially we got the launch trailer for the final shape. Bungie are pretty good at putting these together, and the hype train for the expansion, I think it's safe to say, is reaching full speed at this point. So if you've had the opportunity to check that trailer out, definitely let me know what you think in the comment section. Also today though, we've had a whole bunch of final shape previews coming out from folks who've been able to actually play the new content, and one of the new things that we've learned about is the Red Death. So we've known that this will be coming back, but I've had to wait until now to actually get a look at it, and we can see it's now called Red Death Reformed, and the redemption trait allows final blows with the weapon to cure you and increase reload speed, and reloading after final blows cures nearby allies. So pretty similar to the original version, but obviously the ability to cure nearby players. And indeed, this will be a season exotic for the episode content that we'll get with Echoes starting on week 2 of the expansion. So just a quick one I wanted to point out right there, as we have been waiting to find out more about it. Otherwise though, of course, attention will turn to the game for the week, and we do get one new Archie quest this reset, so as always we need to visit Ada 1 in the Annex. And the final Archie location will be on Neomuna, so that'll be an interesting one to go after if you're still working on those. Additionally though, for Into the Light content, of course we're in the final week now, so if you want to grab any of the shiny limited edition versions of Brave weapons, this is the final few days where we're able to do it, and Bungie have kindly given us a buff that nearly doubles their drop rate, so in terms of those drop-in, this should be the best week that we've had so far, so potentially a good catch-up mechanic if you still want to pick any up. And outside of that, if you are looking to complete any of the Pantheon challenges before final shape drops, we don't get a new one this week, but we do have a final week to get a completion of any of them that we may want to clear, so keep that in mind as well. Next up though, as we get into the game, Bungie offer us yet another reminder that limited edition Brave weapon drops have been doubled, so if you are working on picking any of these up, definitely take advantage of it in this final few days before the expansion drops. Otherwise though, we do have bonus reputation across all of the core ritual playlists this week as well, so might be useful for some leveling up. And next up, let's get onto the Eververse store. Firstly, don't forget your free Bright Dust, but for the front page of Bright Dust items right here, we've got the Experimental Mishap exotic emote, which is available for 3,250 Bright Dust, so we'll have another quick preview of that one, considering the game decided to cut it off. Pretty cool stuff right there from back in Season of Defiance. There is also the Fixed Odds ornament, Unseeing, to be shown right here for 700 Bright Dust. Pretty plain ornament, but nonetheless, maybe one to add to collections. Then we've got the Resurrected Shadow Transman effect. These are 450 Bright Dust as always, and these previews really are playing us up today. There we go, we finally got it right there. And up next, there is the Coleoptera, I had to think twice then, shader available for 300 Bright Dust. Pretty cool stuff. Also on the front page though, we have the Spark of Joy shader available as well. And then as we move over to the main Bright Dust section, we've got the Friendly Feet Dance available right here. This is a legendary emote, multiplayer emote should I say, for 1,250 Bright Dust. There's also the Star-Crossed Helm Universal Ornament helmets this week for 1,200 Bright Dust. And then we've got the Astrologic Shell available right here. Cool ghost shell, sort of Dreaming City themed for 2,850 Bright Dust. Plus there is the Assembly Stinger exotic ship available this week as well. Pretty interesting thing for 2,000 Bright Dust. But then there is the Bright Nostalgia exotic sparrow available for 2,500 Bright Dust this week. And for the weapon ornament, we've got the Immaterial Messenger ornament for the Wishkeeper bow. This is 1,250 Bright Dust as always, a pretty cool one for the end of the season. Then there is the Brain Freeze Ghost projection right here, available for 1,500 Bright Dust. But for the final few items for shaders, we've got Calco's Finery. As always, these are 300 Bright Dust each. Then there is the Jacarina shader available here in the store as well. On top of that though, we've got the Meditator shader. Once again, all of them are 300 Bright Dust. And then the Springtide Faint, another pink shader available this week right there. Finally though, there is the Fallen Arrival Transman effect for 450 Bright Dust, we'll preview that one again. Then we have the Up in Smoke Transman effect as well for the same cost. And very finally, there is the Chrysalis entrance available in the store this week. So let us know in the comment section anything you plan to grab in this final week from the Eververse store. We'll take a very quick look at Banshee here for the featured weapons at least. We've got the Lunar Ladder 4B with no distractions and Golden Tricorn today. There's also Iota Draconis, which has got surplus and high impact reserves. And then the Annual Skate with no distractions and Dragonfly, as well as the Syncopation 53, which has got Steady Hands and Headstone. And finally, the Palmyra B with Ambitious Assassin and Frenzy. So let us know if you plan to grab any of those, but keep in mind the weapons and rolls will change throughout the course of the week. And lastly, let's head over to Ada 1 down here in the annex, and if you do want to start the Archie quest, as always, we can investigate the Paw Prints on the way before going ahead and speaking to Ada. We're also getting the Outbreak Refined quest, the very final upgrade for Outbreak Perfected this week, so plenty of reasons to visit Shader 1 down here in the annex for a change, but for the featured shaders, we've got House of Mayrin available for 10,000 Glimmer, one of the Black Armory shaders from back in the day, which is pretty nice. There is also the Flowers of Io, the worn variant of that. All of these shaders are 10,000 Glimmer. And finally, there is the New Monarchy Regalia available at Ada 1 as well. For some other bits of content this week though, the featured Nightfall weapon is the Azumi RR4, and that will be dropping from the Hypernet Current Nightfall, so a final opportunity to grab that before the launch of the expansion. And otherwise, of course, in the 0 Hour mission, we do get the final Outbreak upgrades this week, as well as the unlock for the exotic ship. So that's cool to go after, but Whisper is still available as a featured mission. So if you need to get any unlocks done before final shape for that one, we still have the opportunity to do so. And otherwise, the featured exotic mission this week will be Vox Obscura, where we can pick up Dead Messenger. For the featured raid and dungeon content though, we've got King's Fall, where we can pick up Touch of Malice, as well as any of the legendary loot pool, which is entirely farmable, so that's useful. But on top of that, Grasp of Avarice dungeon is featured as well. And then the very final mention is for the Lost Sectors this week. So for today, May 28th, we've got Thrilladrome on Neomuna, dropping exotic legs. You can also see the legendary weapon loot pool on the right hand side of the chart right there. May 29th will be Gilded Precept, dropping exotic arms. Then we move to the EDZ with Scavenger's Den on May 30th, dropping exotic chest pieces. And for the 31st, it'll be Skydock, dropping exotic helmets. For June 1st though, we've got the Quarry in the EDZ, dropping exotic legs. June 2nd will be Aphelion's Rest in Dreaming City, dropping exotic arms. And then Bay of Drowned Wishes is featured on June 3rd, dropping chest pieces, although a heads up, the game is supposed to have 24 hours of downtime before the launch of Final Shape, so chances are we won't actually get the opportunity to jump into that final Lost Sector as the servers will go offline for that 24-hour period. But otherwise, that sums up most of the content which is relevant for this week. So as always, I hope you've enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you have, a rating below really does help us out on the channel. Also get subscribed so I can keep you posted with more Destiny content. And let us know any final bits that you're getting done in the game this week before the launch of the expansion. Otherwise though, cheers for tuning in as always, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.